Yeah, every week, we really we evaluate the game, and within that, evaluate our football team from a schematic standpoint to a roster standpoint, and then try and remain focused on the big picture as well in terms of where we're trying to go, and make sure we're, as I said yesterday, making the appropriate adjustments week to week.
What about the numbers that you might see slipping? Your run defense corrected itself in the second half, but how much of a concern is that? And how would you assess the offense and how it's producing in spurts still?
Yeah, we're a work in progress. As I said yesterday after the game, John, a lot of work to do. Humble and hungry approach. That's what we embrace here. As I said, it really to me embodies this city and the fans of the Buffalo Bills, and so we subscribe to that.
Coach, on first down, you're now getting 4 yards or more than half the time. It seemed like there was an uptick in that yesterday with some of the first down runs you got. Can you just kind of lay out how that really has a trickle-down effect for everything else, second down, third down, play call options, et cetera?
Yeah, I mean, being on schedule and having first down success is important. And I'm sure Brian would tell you it certainly makes life as an offensive play caller a lot easier when you can establish the line of scrimmage, whether it be run or pass, and we were able to do that at times yesterday, I thought, well.
I think you said you had to look at the tape for the 5 instances where the and one situations you called them. What did you see from those, and why did they go awry?
Yeah, never just one guy, and that's honestly what I saw. It was a handful of issues in there, some penetration, some one-on-one situations where we didn't win our one-on-ones, and then, so it's just, again, going back and reestablishing that it is a one-on-one game in those situations, a one-on-one game in a lot of situations, and making sure we win those one-on-ones, and we've got the right approach in those situations, and then also that we execute at a higher level than we did this past week.
Sure. Is that the deal? Is that the deal on the other side of the ball? You're not winning one-on-ones. I think you're leading the league right now in interior rushing yards over the past 3 weeks.
Yeah, gap integrity, really. It's what that comes down to, is gap integrity.
When we saw Jordan start in place of Ed and his snap count lower than we've usually seen, what led to that decision for Ed to kind of be real back in a little bit?
Yeah, just really just Jordan earning the right to get more opportunities. Whether he started or not, he was going to get more opportunities. And Ed is a young player that has to continue to develop, and that comes down to going through his process during the week. And I think Ed would tell you, if not the same, about the same. It's not really what, really necessarily what he hasn't done. It's more of what Jordan has done, and then about Ed's development at this point.
Would the same apply to Devin Singletary earning more time ahead of Frank?
Those are, every week's different game plan wise. Every week's different in terms of the flow of the game. We've got a lot of confidence in Frank Gore. Frank's a big part of what we're doing here, and his personality on our football team is important. So that toughness, he's played in a lot of important games over the course of his career. His role is an important one for us.
John, what have you made of the job that Corey Beforehand has done halfway through the season?
Yeah, the punt he had yesterday in the fourth quarter, 6 to 8 minutes to go, I believe, in there, somewhere in there. I thought was a big punt for us, just field position-wise, flipping the field. When you look at his development, again, another young player, second-year player, just midway through his second year, played about half the year last year as well, so maybe through his first year at this point. I think Matt Smiley and Heath have done a really good job in terms of helping him develop, and I've seen growth. We've seen growth in that area. Now it's about consistency as we move forward here. I think there's probably some plays he'd like to have back, probably 1 or 2 yesterday he'd like to have back, and so there's a mental toughness component when you're kicking in Buffalo, and I think it's in there with Corey. The same with Hausch, and so Hausch is further along in his career, and I thought he was extremely mentally tough yesterday. And Corey, after he had the bad one, came back and had a very key punt for us late in the game, as I mentioned. So we're starting to see signs of that positive mental toughness.
What does it mean to be off to the best start in 26 years here?
Very, very grateful. Very grateful. Just to be here, number one, to be, excuse me, part of this team. A lot of great people in this building, and it's a result of everyone's hard work. So I'm very grateful for it.
And can you assess how good this team is in light of skeptics who are going, well, the schedule has been soft and things of that nature?
Well, we control what we control. That's what we do. So we don't make the schedule. We didn't make the schedule last year. Probably good odds we won't make it next year either. So we're focused on who we play this week, John. Excuse me.
Speaking of this week, what do you make of a Cleveland team that had so much, I guess, optimism and hype coming into the season, but hasn't quite hit that level?
Yeah, good football team. Talented football team. A team that's come close. And I haven't watched much film at this point, to be honest with you, just trying to wrap up things with our team here, so in terms of wrapping up the game. But very talented football team, and we're going there, so it's going to be a big challenge for us to go on the road.
13 straight quarters now for Josh without an interception. What do you attribute the longest stretch of his career? What do you attribute doing so well in that facet of the game?
Yeah, just his development, his maturing on and off the field. That's all part of it. His understanding more and more each week, each rep of what we're trying to get done, both situationally and schematically. And then really, I think he's taken a very unselfish team-first approach, which is important for all members of our team, including our quarterback, and Josh in this case.
And through about 20 games now, how do you assess the job that Brian's done in that relationship with health development?
Yeah, Brian and Ken Dorsey both have worked together to be the voice in Josh's ear, and so Josh is very coachable. He's receptive to it, and there's good communication and collaboration week to week, and that's all been part of Josh's development as well.
We've seen Josh's passing numbers be a little lower in the past month or so. How much of that is a product of what he's being asked to do, whether it's play calling or whatnot?
Yeah, I mean, I think at the end of the day, he's asked to win games, right? That's what we're going to try and do, is win games, develop the right game plan, excuse me, in order to do that. And that's going to vary week to week. The number of times he throws, the style of throws, number of times we run. So we're always going to try and put our players, Josh in this case, and all of our players in a position of strength. And so, I think if you look at it over the last 4 games, he's had, I believe, 7 touchdowns. Passing, one running, and so there's some good there, and there's some things he has to work on, just like all of us. Guys, good?
Thank you.
All right, thanks, guys.